What is up, everybody? It is your boy DRIFTXPORT here. We are back with another overnight episode, and today it's only two of us right now. So it's me and my boy Dylan. I'll let him do his intro right now, but we do have a special guest. Unfortunately, Manny and Justice could not make it. They were a little busy. They got things going on today, but we're still going to bring you guys content. So of course, as always, we upload every Friday, but we change it to every 2 Fridays now, or every 2 weeks, just to keep up with the NFL season, so we could do our weekly pick'ems like that later in the episode. But other than that, I'm gonna let our other two guests introduce themselves, and then we'll do a brief introduction on our special guest.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dylan. Just catch all my links in my link tree in the description.
What it do, y'all? Shinobi Radixan. My name's Julio, though. Do YouTube, music, games, let's plays. I also do vlogging too, but that's pretty much my intro.
All right, I'll make sure I put his links in the description below too, so you guys can follow that. But anyways, what kind of like stuff do you do, like specifically, what kind of games do you plan on playing and content do you plan on making, like when it comes to games, so they know what kind of games to look out for?
Oh, I feel you. It's really kind of just random. Right now, it's just a lot of Apex, just because a lot of us play it. So it's just easy to get clips, but I just uploaded the Fall Guys one. I have like Dead by Daylight up there. I do like Let's Plays too. I have a couple games planned. I'm planning to do like a Kingdom Hearts one, and then maybe like a Arkham one, just because the new Arkham game's coming out pretty soon, and then same for the Kingdom Hearts. But I do that. Music wise, I have stuff planned in the back, but it's just for fun right now. But definitely check that out, because I got some stuff planned.
Right, that's fine. Like I said, we'll have links in the description below. Other than that, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some of the new things coming out. We can finally talk about some of the game stuff, because now more and more news is starting to come out. I think it's a good topic for us to start out with the new Call of Duty beta coming out tomorrow. For any of you to know, if you have PlayStation, it is free this weekend. So on this Friday, when this episode is up, if you're watching it on that Friday, make sure you guys go to the PlayStation Store, download the beta. It's going, 3 days long, guys, right? Friday to Sunday, something like that.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
Yeah, doesn't require PlayStation Plus, so that's probably the biggest W ever. Like, if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you can still play it for free, which is cool. And like I said, it's only multiplayer right now, so we're getting 6v6 and Ground War. I don't have all the details on all the maps, but I know there's like 5 or 6 maps that you guys are able to play for, and 2 Ground War maps, I think, or something like that. So that's a good way to test the game and see if you guys are gonna like this game. But other than that, what are your guys' opinions on any of the gameplay trailers or pieces that you guys have seen in the game so far, if you guys have seen any?
I've seen like a little bit of it, but from what I did see, knowing that it's running off the same engine of Modern Warfare, like it doesn't look too bad. But in the same boat though, since it's running off Modern Warfare, I don't know how good the game's actually going to be.
I agree. Visually, it looks good, but I mean, for me personally, ever since like BO3, maybe like bleeding into like BO4, that's kind of where like my COD career stopped. It seemed too like the same thing, you know what I mean, like over and over, and they're just trying to figure out like different ways, which I can see them, with their battle royale with like Warzone, but I don't know. I mean, I'll probably give it a shot, but.
Yeah, I'm saying in the same boat as you. Like, as a COD fan, I do like some, I don't like some, but I also, like you said, with Warzone being so cool, it kind of like neglects multiplayer for me. So like this year, especially like for those of you that don't play, it's kind of hard to get into multiplayer when they're constantly updating Warzone but not updating multiplayer, if that makes sense. And of course, you want to update what's more popular, and BR is the wave. So of course, the more people are gonna play that and pay attention to that, they're gonna update that more. But with this being the same engine, I'm kind of iffy about it. I want it to be good, just because the previous ones haven't been so great. But there's a lot of new things to this Call of Duty, like being able to see the life bar, and actually having a little. I'm pretty sure this is more than 100 health. I might be like back before. I might be wrong on that. I definitely don't know. I'm not sure on the idea, but it looks like it's a little more health, and it's definitely a different time to kill again. So that's always an adjustment. But yeah, I just hope this game is fun. But like I said, you guys have to play this weekend for free, and then make sure when you guys play this weekend for free, don't always hate the game too, because it might be bad in the beta, but we also got to see it on next gen, so we don't know how good it's actually going to be, because we don't have our hands on next gen. But speaking of next gen, that is what we're going to talk about now. I think you pulled the specs for it, right, Dylan?
I just pulled up the prices and like the pre-order dates.
All right, well, go ahead and read them that because I don't know when they come out, but go ahead and read them those so they know.
Okay, so the PS5, the regular edition of it starts at $499.99, and then the digital edition is $399.99, and pre-orders are already like available, and it comes out in U.S., Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea on November 12th, and then everywhere else on November 19th. And then the Xbox Series X will be $499, and the Xbox Series S is $299, and pre-orders start September 22nd.
Fire, bro. That dude, the sales for that thing have been crazy, like insane. Like at least the PlayStation has. The last like what is it? Did it start yesterday? Yeah. So today and yesterday, everywhere I've checked has been sold out. I do want to get a hand on my. I want to get a hand on PS5, so it's probably gonna be the console I'm going towards. What about you guys and how you guys see a change in console, or maybe even going to Xbox now because we're all on PlayStation currently.
I'm just gonna stick with PlayStation. I mean, the specs are obviously better on Xbox, but I haven't like been off of PlayStation since the 360.
Yeah, I'm sticking with PlayStation. Even back when the 360 had like the better specs, I still stick with the PS3. But I think it's a smart move that they did the digital and then the CD or the physical copy separate,
Yeah.
because that's something that like should have been done. Like me personally, I think, just because I'm out here spending extra cash for like a hard drive, trying to get like the digitals and stuff. But that's a smart move, and especially like it being the cheaper one, I'm not surprised that they're sold out.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be going towards that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to the digital one too. Like you said, it does take up more space, which is kind of like questionable. But we got to see how big the games are and stuff. Because some of the games in this game are huge. Like, and it feels bad for Xbox. Like if you like see the Call of Duty updates on Xbox compared to PlayStation, it's ridiculous. Like
yeah,
if Xbox were to do like that and have no disc, I wouldn't even do it. Like if it's like anywhere like last year, I wouldn't even waste my money on Xbox. Dude, you can't put disc in because those updates are huge, and I'm not trying to have just 3 games downloaded. Like at all. And it's literally
yeah.
like that, bro. Like the Modern Warfare killed Xbox updates, bro. Like that's crazy, bro. Like the updates are insanely different in that game or in that console. But yeah, so it's cool that we're all leaning towards PlayStation. I'm on the same page as Julio. I've been on PlayStation since the PS3. I did own a 360 when I tried playing competitive on Call of Duty because I was thinking about switching that, and my little brother had got it. But I always stick with PS3 just because I just ended up staying on it anyways because I got lazy and switching over and stuff like that. And more of my friends run it. So it's cool to see us all go from PlayStation and stay on PlayStation. But now that we're speaking of that, we can talk about some of the games and how we feel about what company is winning, I guess, because it's always a competition. It always is going to be. So for me right now, I think Sony got a big W. Like just looking at the exclusives and the games coming out, I really do think Sony just has a W right now. I don't know what Xbox is bringing, but on launch, PlayStation releases are fire right now. Like just Spider-Man and Horizon Zero Dawn alone on launch, and now they advertise the new God of War. That's crazy. Like the launch difference of titles, like it looks crazy.
I think that PlayStation's like super smart for waiting for Xbox to go first with like their release date and pre-order dates and stuff, so that way they can get ahead of the ball and drop it and get more sales on it. I think they're really smart for that.
Yeah, exclusive wise, I've always like preferred PlayStation, especially just because I'm a like huge Kingdom Hearts fan. So even just for that game alone, I would stick with PlayStation. But I agree, even for the PS4 when they released it, their release games they're dope. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I do want to point out though the Xbox able to play Xbox games. That's pretty dope. Like imagine if we could play like the PS games or like PS2 games on the PS5. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
that's cool.
something that you're able to play like 99% of the PS4 games on the PS5 too.
Yeah. So that's a huge dub because the PS4, in terms of playing PS3 games, not that good.
Yeah, it's pretty whack on the PS4. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think PS Now is kind of like, or the PlayStation subscription service they have. It's pretty cool. Besides the fact that it has to be streamed, so it's kind of like lag. and things like that. Like even on Wire, like you're still experiencing like a delay and a button input delay. It would just been better if they would have just backported all the games like they did with the PS3, where you could just rebuy them, like you like, pretty much like you were playing it through a simulator, kind of. Like they should have just did it like that. I didn't see why they just backpacked the ports all the way back up to the PS4 like they did from the PS2 to the PS3, rather than having us rent a streaming service from them. But I understand them trying to make the money off of it. I just wish that it wasn't streamed through your internet rather than just streamed directly, so there's no lag. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy what they're doing. Like Dylan said, a lot of the people were announcing like all these Xbox games being able to be played again, and Sony was kind of like sleeping on it, and they didn't announce anything like that. But then, today they hit us like when you get the PS5, there's going to be games that are like big hit games like Uncharted and things like that right away once you pay for your PlayStation Plus or whatever the service is for the online. Once you pay for the online feature, of course you're going to have benefits with those free games every month. But right when you get the game, I don't remember all the games that are coming out, but I know I've seen Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, and a couple other games that you'll get like right on launch, like just to download for free after you pay for your online subscription. So you're talking about you getting those games plus all the games that came out recently or earlier this year that you pre-ordered that are already going to be compatible again. Like if you bought them, like of course like a game like Madden where you buy it right now on your PS4, and when you get PS5 it transfers over for free and you get all your shit back. So that's a big old W. So I'm really excited to see where like that's gonna go. But like the game titles coming out, there's quite a bit. Like you said, we have DC that just announced their event not that long ago with a bunch of new games. Like he's talking about the new Arkham Knights game, which looks kind of cool, especially with it being like a little bit after Batman in the storyline. From what I see, it looks like Batman's kind of like dead, and you're playing as the other characters under him, which is cool. The Suicide Squad game was fire. I think that's really a runner-up for the Avengers game. That was a smart move by them. You're pretty much playing a game where you're fighting the Justice League, so it's kind of like the Avengers with all these characters in it. That was pretty cool for a Marvel versus DC type of thing. And the competition for DC games and comics and like animated shows, DC is in the W to me. I haven't really played a Marvel game that was better than the Arkham series alone, but I could be a little biased, but I really can't think of a Marvel game that's competed with any of the Arkham games.
I agree. Probably the closest one would be Spider-Man, but even then, all those like Arkham games were on point, even from the first one.
Yeah, Spider-Man was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I totally forgot about Spider-Man, and now that you mentioned it, that game was amazing. I just felt like it was really short, and the only reason that I wouldn't say that it's not better than Arkham, like you said, is those games were perfect, and there was three of them that were really good. Like, and Spider-Man's only had one game, and I know Miles Morales, this new one, has a bunch of hype, and visually it looks amazing. But if the game is as short as the last one, I feel like it's gonna die pretty fast because it was popular for a while, but then the DLCs were kind of very short. Like, I mean, within you passing in the first day, and if you're gonna do a game that has so much hype behind it and so much publicity around it, it's gotta last. And that game is like a 2 day game, like maybe a day, depending on how many hours you put into it right away. So, and there's not much to do like on the map. Like for me personally playing Spider-Man, like there wasn't much to do after the game. After you beat Batman, there were so many side quests to do. Like you can fight like each villain individually. Like you could do all the Ritter's clues, and you could do all kinds of other stuff to fight other villains in Gotham. And Gotham kind of felt like it was like a GTA in a sense, where it was like free world and it opened and it had life to it. And although Spider-Man had some of that in it, I felt like everything alone was short, and you could finish even all the side missions pretty fast.
Yeah, and then even like running like through the games again, once you completed it, all the like little Easter eggs that you can pick out now that you went ahead and played through it, like it's just there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Like even if you played the one that was on the PS3, the Origins ones, and then you started with that one and then moved your way on, like it feels like a completely different story. So I mean, I agree. DC, when it comes to their games, especially like the Arkham ones, they're killing it.
Yeah, and they even did good on the Telltale series. They did. I thought the Batman Telltale series was definitely
Oh
up
yeah, I
there.
forgot about that one too.
Yeah, the storyline was really cool, and it gives you a different perspective on what you would do like in Batman's situation, which is really cool. And it did feel like Batman. It felt like Batman. Like like some people try to like take a perspective on Batman that doesn't really feel like Batman. And there's been
Right.
many people try to do it, but that game felt like you were literally in his shoes, and the decisions you made were, of course, always change the game because that's what the game basically is. But the decisions you made feel like those are the decisions Bruce Wayne would really make or Batman would really make. So it wasn't like it was
Hmm.
far off or fake or anything like that. And that's what I think made the game feel authentic. So right now, I'm gonna ask you guys: is there any games you guys are excited to come out, or at least like try to give me a list of like maybe your top three, or if you don't have three, just one that you guys want to see come out, or maybe it hasn't been announced yet, but you hope it comes out. So, do one of you guys want to start on that?
Dylan's been pretty
Um,
quiet. He can go first.
yeah, I'll go. I'm just not big into like the superhero stuff. Like I played the Batman game, like Arkham Knight. I played that and it was super fun. But like Spider-Man, I couldn't get into. I'm just
I
not big
feel
on
that.
like superhero stuff.
That makes sense. So I don't think it's for everyone. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did really enjoy Arkham Knight because it was free for PlayStation Plus, and I ended up playing it and it was
Yeah.
really fun. But games I'm excited for are like the Batman game because I actually do want to play the new one, and then GTA 6 whenever the hell they decided to release that. But yeah, those are like really the only two games I'm looking forward to.
All right. You want to go next, or you want me to go next?
Um, man, three of them.
It doesn't have to be three. Like, just any you could think of. Maybe if, like I said, even if it hasn't been announced and you just want to see it come, and or you hope it comes out,
Yeah.
you can say that too for your list.
Um, Probably Cyberpunk 2077, just because it looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie, since they announced it, the hype has kind of died down for me, but I still want to see like what they're able to do with it. Um, I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, so I'm hoping for another one, but knowing how like the past games went, it's probably like a 20-year wait. Um, GTA 6 would be dope too. Definitely, the Arkham ones, especially the Suicide Squad one, because I feel like Suicide Squad in general, like even down to the movies and like the Harley Quinn spinoff, they weren't the best for me, like in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think this will definitely like redeem the name to it. For me, yeah, it's a competitor to the Avengers one, but I feel like it's an upgrade of the DCU Online one too, the one where
Oh
you can
yeah.
like make your character. Yeah, so it's definitely like something that DC needs to do for Suicide Squad. But yeah, I would say those games.
Yeah. Um, that's cool. Like, I'm gonna take notes on the two games you said. I do agree with you with the Cyberpunk. I feel like I had all this hype behind it, and then it's like, dude, the delay came out, and then the delay came
Hmm.
out, and then the delay came out, and they should have just went from the very beginning and just been like, oh, this is a next gen game, because they delayed it 4 times on PS4, and then like, okay, we're just gonna
Right,
wait till next gen. Like, this should have been advertised a long time ago, and then just have the hype built up around it going into next gen, rather than losing
right.
a little bit of interest in it. But yeah, and then on the Suicide Squad game, I definitely do agree with you with it being the competition to Avengers, and it's really cool because like from a competition standpoint, I think DC took a really good uh like take here because like they could have turned around and gave us a Justice League game, but DC's kind of
Yeah,
like, what's the fun in that? Let's make them be the bad guys. Like let's let them do the whole opposite. They literally grabbed the Avengers game and seen, oh, these are the good guys. They're gonna save the day, and they're like, oh, let's make a Suicide Squad. Like these guys are gonna be the guys that fuck up everything or like just mess up everything and go around just causing havoc, which is like the whole complete opposite of the Avengers, which is really cool. And they still have the Justice League in there, so those are arguably going to be like names alone that draw people to the game, which is cool.
I agree, and I think that's what pushed Avengers to like um the movies, like pushed them to that level that they went. Because when it comes to superheroes, the superhero all he has to win. But at the end of Infinity War, the Thanos snap, and then that's where it ends. Like, I think that's what pushed it to the next level. So, doing a video game from like the villain side, but making them the vigilante, it's it's gonna be good.
Yeah, yeah, and I do like that. Like I said, it's always a competition because you can even see like that one year that Civil War came out for Captain America, like it was just
Hmm.
gonna be a Captain America movie, and then when they seen, oh yeah, we got Justice League coming out, we got the first Suicide Squad coming out, let's just make this a mini Avengers movie kind of. So they added more people into the movie, and they changed the whole script around. It was like supposed to be one movie, and then like, oh shit, DC got some movies coming out, we gotta change our competition
Yeah.
around just to just stay in competition with them. So that's kind of cool, in a way. Like I said, I hope these games compete and they make each other better. That's literally a W for everyone that the games just get better. And speaking of this whole Xbox versus PlayStation thing too, and why we're still talking about the Marvel game, Sony just took another W by saying if you get Avengers on the PS4, you could transfer your Spider-Man character over. So if you have Spider-Man or the Miles Morales, you get to play as both of them in the Avengers game. But if you own an Xbox, you guys will get an exclusive character that PlayStation doesn't get. But you already added like PlayStation's already got Spider-Man, and that's usually a W. So most people really enjoy Spider-Man, are fans of Spider-Man. So that's always going to be the most recommended character, and it's just a big old W that PlayStation took.
Oh yeah, definitely. Spider-Man and like Iron Man, Batman, those kinds of characters, I feel like are always a W just because they're the most relatable. You know what I mean? Like they're the most like close to like us and like what can actually be possible. Um, so definitely a good move for them.
Yeah. And before we switch subjects and keep talking off of it, I'll give you guys my list. I'm really excited for a Sly Cooper 5. I'm really hoping that we get one. It's been a while since we got one, and they've been teasing things
Yeah, I
around.
have.
I'm really excited for that. I just want to see even just one more just to finish off the story and then be like, okay, we're done. You know, it's gonna be kind of a little hard. The first three were ran by Sucker Punch, and then they dropped the title and gave it to Sanzaro Games. But then now we
Hmm.
just seen that Sanzaro Games got bought out by Facebook to make mobile games, so they ain't gonna be making no more console games. So Sucker Punch don't really have a lot of production going on right now. It'll be kind of cool if Sony either gives it back to them or maybe Sony's production team lets another title make it. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then I want to see Horizon Zero Dawn 2. The first one was amazing, but it was kind of like in the same Spider-Man situation where it was pretty short, so it died after a bit. But that game was kind of good, and visually that game's amazing. Even on the PS4, it was amazing. So hopefully we get that. And then my last game would probably be the new Ratchet and Clank. I think the new Ratchet and Clank looks good. Um, and that game is just one game that's just it goes through time. Like, and I just remember growing up, and every year or every other year, and that game has been coming out every year. It's almost like that game grew up with me. Like as long as the more and more I get older, the more and more that game is still coming out. It's almost like Mortal Kombat. It's just like a decade worth of games. Like it's crazy how much they still produce that game or how much fan base that game still has.
Yeah.
All right, and then when we're on this topic, and you are a special guest, and like you said, you make content for Apex. Are you hoping that we see Apex? I'm pretty sure they haven't confirmed they're confirmed yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to be confirmed here soon. I mean, Fortnite just announced that they're going next gen. Is Apex a game that you want to see go next gen that you continue to want to make content on?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I feel like all battle royale games have that kind of like spirit that like even though like it's kind of like the same thing, it's always different. Like even with like Fall Guys, it's like only what like eight different stages, but like you keep on playing it just because it's addicting. Because every game's gonna be different, no matter what. Um, but being able to see Apex on PS5 would be great. Um, but yeah, I hope they announce it. I don't see why they wouldn't, but
Yeah, I think it'll be announced here shortly. I mean, it's right now it's probably Warzone and Fortnite's biggest competition. Um, the community's been up and down about it, and like they're going through this little like stint where like of course a lot of the pro players are tired of the game, no changes, blah blah. They're not being able to make
yeah,
content, and that is true. Skill based matchmaking does take its toll on almost every game now, which is unfortunate. But that game, like you said, is one of those games where it's unpredictable to finish. Um, it is very like weapon based or meta based. Like they're gonna update the
yeah,
game, and then a weapon's gonna be OP, and then that weapon's gonna get nerfed, and then another weapon's gonna be OP. So I think they're just learning little by little that the game has to find its balance between guns, and when that game does find its balance between guns, that game is going to be amazing. Like the map is visually good, and these are like probably the second set of characters besides Overwatch where people are actually addicted to the characters outside of the game.
Yeah.
So that's something that's always an improvement because Overwatch is a great game, but when you have a multiplayer game with no story mode, win game of the year in all three phases, just due to the story arc alone from the characters, that's amazing. And Apex
Yeah.
is literally doing that. They do everything right. All their events are cool. The cinematics are top tier. I would say like right behind Overwatch, if not a little better. Um, and it's just crazy to see how much effort they put into the characters outside of the game. When you have people that are obsessed with these characters and buying products for these characters alone, it's always a W. Like I really haven't seen another game besides Overwatch really have a successful bunch of characters, and every season these guys come out with another character that just brings a whole new attraction of people or fans to that character.
I agree, and I feel like we gotta like really appreciate the developers for that too, just being so like responsive and like open to the community. Because every time, we like you gotta nerf this or we need somebody else for, defense, and boom, they drop Watson. Oh, we need something more, a little bit offensive. Boom, drop Octane. But yeah, like every season, even with like the small updates that they do, like just recently, everybody was complaining about the Evo shields. I think within like a week or a week and a half, they dropped the update to bring them back like how they were. So that's another big thing too that definitely helps out the battle royale games is the developers have to be like on top of the game and then have an open mind and just listen to the community. That's really like what it comes down to. I mean, if you're not satisfying the people that are, you know, playing your game, it's not gonna work. And they definitely do that. And then even with adding like the little story quest on the sides, it adds that depth to the characters that was already there, even without the story.
Yeah, and that's smart. It's just making your consumers happy is always the way to go. And I do agree they do listen to the community, so that's a really cool thing. If more games did that, more games would be successful. Um, that's why I said Fortnite has really changed the way, like for a lot of companies. And I mean, dude, this game is a completely free to play game, and the way they make moves and the way they change their game is like second to none. Like the way they
Hmm.
partner with people, the way they bring out content. There's not a day in that game where you get on and it's somewhat boring. Like I guess like playing it for so long can die out, but they give you weekly content, they give you daily skins, they give you
Yeah.
weekly events, monthly events, season pass events, map changes. That game literally does everything. They listen to the community when a gun is too OP. They're really starting to get their rhythm down when it comes to making the guns balanced and not broken. For a while they had like super OP guns like the Tommy gun and things like that, and then they just bent like they went
Hmm.
ahead and they benched them or vaulted them, and then they brought them back out. But when they brought them back out, they weren't as good. They kind of like finally the first game ever to finally listen to the community and be like, hey, knock skill based matchmaking out of squads. Sometimes I want to play with my friends that aren't as good, or like not as don't play all the time, and I just want to have a match for fun. I don't want to always have to play with my friends, but I play every day and I have a high SKD, and then I'm playing with
Hmm.
people that don't play, and we're playing against people that have a 3.0 KD all the time. And I think that is something that Fortnite really excels in. I think more games should do that. Um, I understand like games want to be competitive and fun, and when it's FPS and it's a competition, especially in ABR. But there's got to be a difference between like fun and comp. Like it has to have balance. And I really like how they left skill based matchmaking in solo. So if you're a solo player, you can go ahead and sweat and try to do your best and improve. Or if you just want to kick back with the boys and play squad of four, you're gonna have no skill based matchmaking, and it's gonna be fun.
Hmm. I agree. I think that's what really like sent them to the spot that they're at. Because I mean, I might be wrong, but it was probably the second like battle royale that came out. First one being like PUBG, right? Like the big one that everybody like gravitated towards, and that one was definitely like competitive. Like you had to be on top of your game when you were doing that. And then Fortnite came out, and man, that blew up so quick. Um, but I agree, making it more just like accessible for like everybody to play. Um, and having like those options there definitely sends it to where it's at now.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so like right here, we're in the middle of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and do our weekly pick'ems, our little segment that we do. Julio, if you just want to like sit back real quick while we go through this real quick, we're gonna go ahead and go through this, and then we'll go back to
Yeah,
you on
I
the
got
gaming
you.
topic and finish that off. But this should be pretty fast. So I'm gonna give you guys a score update before me and Dylan give you guys the predictions for this week. Last week, me and Dylan are tied in first place with 13 correct. Justice has 10 and Manny has 9. Although they are not here, I do have their picks. So we're going to go ahead and start that off. Dylan, we got Bengals and against you guys. So who you picking? Manny went Bengals, Justice went Browns.
Well, Manny's a bitch. I hope he
Ooh.
hears this.
Ooh.
Going with the Browns.
All right. I think I'm going to go with you guys too. Loki, I'm just going to keep picking you guys even if they do lose. Unfortunately, I'm still going to just ride out with you guys for now. I do hope you guys do win. So that's a W. All right. Next one is Atlanta and Cowboys. And both of them picked Cowboys. So,
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas.
okay. I think I'm going to be the odd guy out and go for Falcons again. The way the defense played, I can see Julio having a big day. Buffalo and Dolphins. And they both went Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah, that's the easy one. I'm setting Buffalo too. All right, Panthers and Buccaneers.
I'm gonna use my lock on the Bucks.
Ooh, that is a good lock. Like definitely. I think I'm gonna go Bucks too, honestly. And then we got Broncos and Steelers. They both
Steelers.
went Steelers. Okay, we're all going Steelers. Packers and Lions. They both went Packers.
Packers.
Okay, I'm going Packers as well. You have Jaguars and the Titans.
Give me the Titans.
Looks like we're all going there as well. All right, they got Rams and the Eagles. Justice went Eagles. Manny went Rams.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
All right, me as well. You got the Vikings at the Colts. Justice went Vikings. Manny went Colts.
I'm going with the Vikings.
Same. All right, you got Giants at the Bears. Manny went Giants. Justice went Bears.
I'm going with the Bears. Fuck the Giants. For you, Manny.
All right, we got the Jets at the Niners. They both went Niners.
Niners.
Me as well.
Damn.
We got the Washington football team versus us. They both went us. Of course, I'm gonna go us. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I'm going Arizona.
Okay. And then we got Baltimore at Texans. They both went Baltimore.
Baltimore.
All right. You got Kansas City at Chargers. They both went Kansas City.
Yep, give me Kansas City.
Okay. They got the Patriots at the Seahawks. And they both went Patriots. Or not Patriots, I mean Seahawks. My bad about that. They both went Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks.
All right. I'm actually going to use my upset here and just risk it and go for the upset.
Paid
All
off
right.
big for me last week.
Yeah, I'm trying to hope this one pays off big. All right, now we have the Saints at the Raiders.
The Saints.
All right. All right, that is all this weekly pick'ems. We'll make sure we give you guys a score update next week once we total the scores from this week and last week. And as you guys are seeing this on Friday, the Thursday night game will have already passed, but we're recording on Thursday. That's why we predicted it early. So hopefully we'll all start off positive. Well, besides Manny, because hopefully the Browns win. Go Browns for once. Other than that, that is our weekly pick'ems. We can cover a little bit of last week's games, or at least try to pick out one that was a shocker. And I think we can go ahead and go with the Washington game, because I don't think anyone's seen them coming back and beating the Eagles like they did. And that defense played amazing. Unfortunately, we have to play them this week, which I don't think is going to... People are saying it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be closer than it should be, honestly. But is there a specific game you want to point out, Dylan?
I mean
From last week?
Washington. Yeah. It's pretty much like them or the Jags.
Oh, yeah, the
Jags
Jags game
shocked
was
a lot
amazing,
of
too.
people.
their defense definitely stepped up, and Minshew did a really good job of winning them that game. So of course, that was also crazy. But yeah, that was our weekly pick'ems. Make sure you guys expect us next week so we can go into week 3 and make our weekly pick'ems then. But other than that, we're gonna go ahead and hop back in with Julio here. And while you guys are both here, I kind of want to take you guys' opinion on something that's actually changing gaming a little bit, since we're talking about gaming as well in this episode. How do you guys feel about more games adapting to using mouse and keyboard, like being more open to it? Like back then, being like a pro, like not a pro player, but an AM player in COD, like playing competitive, it was super annoying when you found someone playing mouse and keyboard, or they went around and got Cronus or some type of device to let them play mouse and keyboard. But now most games are just saying, F it, mouse keyboard adaptable, and you could just literally plug in your mouse and keyboard to your adapter on your PlayStation and use a mouse keyboard. Or it's just cross-platform and you can play on your PC.
I mean, I think both has like their advantages and disadvantages. So I don't see it as like a big problem, but for like the competitive scene, I could see why it could be a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little of an agreement with it. I think there's advantages with some games. Like, to me, Call of Duty is not win or losable on mouse and keyboard, just because if you're playing like a monitor on Call of Duty, regardless, control and aim assist in that game, it's balanced, so it's not overpowered. So you could definitely win a gun fight on mouse and keyboard. But a game like Overwatch or Warzone, where you can change your field of views, and you get a little more movement with a mouse keyboard compared to controller, especially on certain characters, where DPS characters matter or movement speed matters. I feel like it's a little bit of an unfair advantage, but of course, aim assist always backs up controller players as well, so each has its advantage and disadvantage. So yeah, but I like that they're opening it up and letting us use it. I mean, I'll never play mouse keyboard. I don't know about any of you. Have you guys ever tried playing mouse keyboard?
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I tried playing CS:GO. It went all bad.
Oof. Yeah, I've never played. Actually, I have played a console game, but it wasn't like super serious. I played Team Fortress 2. I tried that game. I wasn't super bad at it. But then after I figured out that you could play your controller, I just plugged in my controller. So
Yeah, I feel like people are just gonna stick to, what they used to. Because I mean, I've always, had a controller in my hand, so it's gonna feel weird having the mouse and keyboard. Um, but I mean, I like that, there's, starting to be like cross-platform and stuff. Because now, it's not like, oh, all my friends are moving to PC, or all my friends are moving to PS4 or PS5. I have to, switch over there now. It's like, no, like, now we can all like get along. And it also pushes, the whole, competitive side too, when it comes to the companies and what they're gonna start putting out console wise and PC wise when it comes to gaming.
yeah, that's for sure. Um, like I said, I wish like some of these games would open more up to competition on consoles, because we don't really have a lot of like console games or competition like Apex, for example. Like, that's where your channel is kind of like based on you like making content for that and you love playing that game.
Mm.
It's so fun to play, and there'd be times like when I was really into it where I would want to like try to compete in that game, but there was no like custom lobbies or any way to actually play tournaments unless you were on
Yeah.
PC. And that would be a problem, like if you can get your hands on like a good PC or whatever, and you can transfer over your stuff. But since Apex doesn't let you transfer over anything, it's kind of like you're fresh starting, so you're losing all your skins,
Mhm.
you're losing your level, you got to re-rank. And if you're diamond or you're plat, it's kind of like a long way to get all the way back up there, especially when, like you said, you're going from console with your friends to probably playing with randoms every game. That can be frustrating. Like,
Mhm.
LFGs aren't always fun. Like, people say, well, there's LFGs. Like, LFGs are not always fun, and especially when you're playing a competitive game. Like, and I'm speaking from experience. Like, just playing Call of Duty competitive. When my team wasn't on, or we needed to fill in someone to scrim, and it's like, dude, one person can mess up a whole team vibe, and it's like, if they don't agree with the way you agree, or they don't play the way you think they're playing, it just causes friction in between the team, and it's super toxic, and it could just throw away the whole practice or whatever you're trying to do. So LFGs are not always the move. I give props to people that solo queue and then LFG like their whole team. Like, there's no way in hell that I would ever do that in a competitive game or something that I'm really passionate about.
Yeah, same, especially with, Apex. Back when like us three were trying to, go ahead and do the tournament, like
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, I would never go ahead and do solo just because games like this, even like COD, like you need to have those strats down and you need your team like all in like one unit.
yeah, man. And people like, from a competitive standpoint, people sleep on how important comms are. Like communication is really important. Like you don't have to be the best player in the world. Like you don't have to drop 15 kills, but if you know how to communicate, rotate the map, and position yourself correctly, you can beat anyone in a 1v1. It's literally about that's literally one of the most important things is literally having map awareness and rotating
Hmm.
early. Taking the correct angles, getting high ground, things like that. Those are all things that can win you gunfights rather than just 1v1 and gunning down someone. Like, of course, you have to gun down someone eventually, but most of that time, a lower skill player can beat a higher skill player just if they have the position or they outplay them, like mentally. Everything's a chess game
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and if you just outthink your opponent, you can really outplay them. And a game like that consists of having good comms, your team communicating, playing as one. So yeah, LFGs to me aren't always the answer. But yeah, I think Apex would be a really fun game to get into competitively. I really do want to play competitive again or something. I just don't know what yet. COD is just questionable for me. Like I said, Apex would have been fun, and I still think Apex would be fun. Maybe we'll see how much they change when it comes to console. Maybe console will get private matches. Maybe console can join up on PC and play private matches. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah. So we have this last couple minutes, around 17 minutes for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and ask Julio a little more questions since he's our special guest here. You guys already know the content he has to make, but we're gonna let him give you guys a background on maybe some of his favorite games, just stuff that we covered over in the last couple episodes, just so you guys get to know him. And hopefully we see him on the podcast again. This is our second guest total, so that is cool that we're trying to get more guests on here for you guys. But other than that, you said you make music, Julio. So I just want to ask you, like, what got you into music? Like, is there a specific reason that you decided to make music? Because to be honest, bro, like, you ain't even that bad. Like, I ain't in front. Like, your songs are
That's
fire,
pretty
bro.
good.
Like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, you would think, like, some people. I'm not dissing you anyway, Julio, but I'm just saying there's some people out there that aren't you. They say they're gonna make music, and it's fucking ass. Like, it's just trash. Like,
No,
some people
yeah,
just shouldn't make
I'm
music. But dude, your beats are not. Your beats are like actually really good, and like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. When you told me that you made music, I was like, okay, like, it's gonna be like. I'm not saying I thought it was ass or anything, right? I didn't expect it like to be so good. Like, I played it and I was like, oh, dude, damn, this just like actually really good. Like
I appreciate
I
that.
always expecting it to be like good. Like, I wasn't gonna call it like trash because you're my homie. I'm gonna support no matter what. But there's just some people that say they're gonna make music. Like I said, it's either ass or it's like okay. But when I played your stuff, it was really good, and I was like, dude,
I
this it's like
appreciate that.
above average. Like, it's crazy, bro. So I just want to know like where that mindset come from of making music, and what motivates you to like write the lyrics that you write if you write them or whatever. Like, like what gives you like what do you just what's the thought process behind it?
So thought process, it's all based off of emotion. I feel like rap just in general, like even where it comes from, is just based on of like emotion and what's going on. So just however, I'm feeling, or if there's like stuff on my mind that I just want to put on paper, just find a beat that like matches the mood and then go with it, and then the beat will go ahead and kind of guide you to like what you're gonna say or the message that you're gonna go through. But as far as like where it stemmed from, it started with Lil Wayne back when it was the Carter 3. I think it had just dropped, and I heard it and I loved it. So I got like super attached to just that sound, like that South sound.
Yeah,
So like mixtapes back then were like huge. So that's really like all I listened to because back then Lil Wayne was the king of mixtapes. Nobody could, deny that. Back
yeah,
in 2002, like he was on top. So that's really like all I listened to for a long time. Back then though, when I was listening to it, it wasn't really like in my head like, okay, this is something that I want to do. It was actually when I met Miguel, Ernie, and all the other homies.
yeah,
And they were just, messing around because, I mean, same thing. They love, the rap, hip hop. But they were just messing around like, oh, man, you can't rap. So I was like, you know what? Let me write something down. So I wrote something down. I don't remember what I wrote, but um, I went ahead and spit it for them. They're like, "Hey, yo, that's actually not that bad." So ever since then, it's just perfecting the craft. But I feel like the big thing that separates a lot of people when it comes to like, shit music and like good music is just knowing where it comes from, knowing why it sounds the way that it sounds, and then just solidifying who you are. Obviously, not no game banger, wasn't born in the hood. Did I have a rough, like come up? Kind of. Like, we would struggle financially, but it was never like, hey, yo, we gotta hit a lick, or yo, we gotta get moms off the sink, nothing like
Yeah.
that. But, a lot of kids, they obviously see that because a lot of rap is, that's what it is, because that's where, it started coming from the ghettos. But if you're not that and you're over here spitting bars about it, it's not going to sound good. It's all about confidence. And obviously, if you're not from that background, you're not going to sound good when you're spitting it because you don't have that confidence. So when I write, it's me. And I feel like when writing music, you're allowed to exaggerate as long as it's not a lie. And I think Eminem went ahead and said that too. Like, you can tell the truth and you can stretch it, but like, you got to make sure that the main part of it is facts. So a
Yeah.
lot of times when I, just to shout out Dylan's favorite line, the Rey Mysterio one, maxed up,
Yeah.
shouting 619, must be
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio. It's because I'm from, San Diego, 619. I'm obviously not over here maxed up, hitting licks or doing drive-bys, but it's where I'm from, So it's confidence, just knowing your message and feeling the beat. Um, but yeah, a big thing too that helps is the fact that I don't have to go ahead and make the beats. Now a lot of producers just put it out there and be like, okay, you can use it non-profit. And I mean, there's no way that I'm gonna be making money off of it anytime soon. So that's perfect. Just go ahead, give the credits, and then just do your thing.
Hmm. Yeah, but that's cool though because everyone starts from a certain point. Like like you don't always start off making money, and I think that's what people don't realize. So like you said,
Yeah,
like making yourself better off of what's free and given to you right now is just only going to make you better when you do have opportunity if it ever pops up. So that's really important. Like what you said, I think it's smart to take credit off of something like that or take advantage of something. Like if it's out there, use it. Like if they're trying to help you, they
oh yeah,
understand. Like people are trying to grow. You know, use what you can use in any type of environment or anything you're type of in life. I do agree with that. So that's a good point. So I just want to ask you now, like, since we're still on the music topic, like, if you were to get a beat, like, let's say like a regular beat, what's your amount of days it takes you to like upload a video, or how long will it take you to like get your lyrics set, like is there like are you? Some people have an average, some people it takes them a week or a month to do a project. Some people it takes them 2 days to do a project. Like so, like if you had to guess, like per song, like let's just say an average time of how long it takes you like to get a beat, feel your emotions, write it on paper and then find it. Like, is there like a average day, or it's just like you can't really put time on it? It just happens when it happens.
for the most part, it's honestly just a couple hours, and that's just like getting like the lyrics down. Lyrics down, that's probably the easiest part, but like getting that cadence, getting that flow and the timing right, the tone and everything, that takes sometimes a couple days for sure. I watch a lot of interviews like on, bigger artists, and it's the same for them. And I feel like because tone is such like a huge like part of it, because obviously, the beat will go ahead and move you from, an artist perspective. Same with, people just listening to it. But if the tone doesn't match like the beat, and if the tone doesn't match the message that you're trying to send, it's just not going to come out good. So there'll be times where I'll stick to, a certain cadence and a certain flow for a couple of days, and then I come back to it, and I hate it. I don't like it. So then I change it up, and then it's now more of like what I had in mind. So when it comes to just lyrics, probably like a couple hours, but everything else on the back end, like recording it and uh, just getting the right timing and the right sound, definitely like a couple of days. I'll say max like a week.
Yeah, but that's still not bad. Like anything that you're taking time on, like a project like that where you take time on it and you're putting like effort into it and you care about it. It's sometimes it's better to be longer than shorter. You know,
Right.
and that's really cool. So yeah, um, other than that, like we're gonna go ahead and get into your YouTube standpoint now. So like, what got you into
Hmm.
content creating? Like, what made you like want to do content creating, or maybe it's someone that inspired you to do content creating?
Oh man, that's a huge list. But I think the when it comes to like gaming, it was probably Vanoss and all them back when they were like blowing up back in
Yeah,
what was it, BO2, right?
around that
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, so back then we actually had like our own channel. It was like the group of us going ahead and just getting online for a couple hours trying to get, the same clips that they were doing. Um, but just like with us, So we did that for a little bit, but we kind of just like stopped because again, during that time we're kind of like phasing away from COD and trying to do like some other stuff. But I've done Let's Plays. I've done obviously like the edits and stuff. That stems from like Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, Markiplier, YouTubers like that where they have that kind of like mixed content. Um, and then I've wanted to do podcasts or like something like this as well, but I don't have like a solidified idea of what I would do. Um, but that inspiration comes from like Good Mythical Morning. I used to watch them literally every morning, every time they uploaded. It was just really entertaining, and I mean, you don't even have to actually watch the video. You can just have it playing in the background. Um,
yeah,
but that's where like that inspiration comes from. But as far as like my style, it really just depends. It's kind of the same with music. You kind of have like an idea of where you want to take the video, and then the clips will come first, and then the memes and the edits come, and then try to find the music with it.
yeah. That makes sense, and I really do understand where you're coming from. Like I said, being a content creator myself, it just has times like where you said like you're in the mood to make videos too, and I like how you said you got like the same way. I found people that I liked, and I got into content creating, and I make videos, and it just gets like up and down. It's something that it's not easy for everyone, and I will say that
Yeah.
like I've been on my grind for a little bit. Like I was at times where I would fucking upload like every day all month, and then it's like other times where I don't feel like updating at all or uploading at all. And
Oh yeah.
people that can do it yearly, all year long, regardless of the views or how much money they make, just because it's a hobby, I give props to, because I get a little bored sometimes, or I get in moods where I'm like, I want to upload and I want to edit all these videos this week, and I record 6 7 videos or more a day, and then the next week I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't really feel like uploading anything. I'm just gonna upload like one or two, and it's just crazy how much time it actually really takes away from what you're doing, because you gotta like get on the game, record the video, worry about editing that video, then uploading it, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
that takes away so much hours from just sitting there playing. So like to see you on your grind, I'm like, that's cool. Like I let when my friends upload videos like you and Justice. I watch as many of your guys' videos as I can and things like that. I listen to your, like, of course you have music. Justice doesn't have music, but I listen to your music. And that's why I said I
Hmm.
was really shocked with it, and I actually really liked it. And then I was like, it's crazy to see, you guys get into content too. I think with friends, like making content with friends, it kind of is better to me. Like even if like we don't make videos together, but having friends that make content with you, it's kind of like bouncing ideas off of each other, which is
Oh
like
yeah, for
really
sure.
good. As you can see someone making content, it makes you want to make content, um, or it gives you ideas to make content together, which is also amazing, because it gives you motivation in a way, and that's always impressive. Like I said, and like I think where you're going with your channel is cool. I think you got a variety of things. Apex brings a little bit of competitive, that shooter vibe to it. And then you got the walkthroughs,
Hmm.
and it's a mix of everything, and that's really cool. And about the podcast, man, I think you should definitely start a podcast. Podcasts are like one of my favorite things to do. I watch all kinds of podcasts all the time, and it really what makes me like doing podcasts. So I think if you started one, yeah, it'll be really fun, and you could do a lot. There's a lot of ideas, like you said. Once you set your ideas down, and once you figure out what it's about, I think you should just get it rolling, man. Content is content, no matter what kind of content you bring out. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah. Now, last thing I want to ask you while we're getting to the end of this is, would you consider streaming? Because I'm pretty sure there's people out there wondering, about that, or from maybe friends have you talked to about it. Is there streaming? Is it anywhere of an idea, something that you would want to do?
Yeah, streaming would be dope. Um, and I feel like it's kind of two birds in one stone because I can stream while I go ahead and try and find clips, and then the videos can end up being like a highlight reel of like the stream.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, streaming I think is probably the main goal. I feel like for every content creator when it comes to like gaming, just because it's a lot easier. Like you said, it's super super time consuming. The more like most time that I spend when it comes to like actually making a video is definitely just sitting down and then getting some clips. Because some days you can sit down for like 5 hours and not get anything, but then the next day you go ahead and sit down for like 20-25 minutes and then boom, you have your video, you know? So it's
Yeah.
definitely hit or miss. But I think that's why streaming is like more appealing for like everybody. And I mean, man, the contracts that come out of it, like Bobby getting what was it, like 10 million just to go to Twitch, and
Yeah.
then getting Ninja to go off of Twitch for all that lump sum, like it's definitely a way to go. But yeah, streaming would be cool to do, especially for Apex. Like if because I do a lot of ranked, even like solo queuing, so that would be fun to do too.
Yeah. Um, that's why I kind of figured I'm gonna try to give a shot at streaming too. I like making videos, like I said, but there's just some days where I think I have too much, or I feel like I fill my plate up, and then it's like I record 5 videos this week, and the next week I don't feel like recording it. So maybe if I figured if I want this to be a hobby long term, I gotta cut it in half. I gotta make it fun. I can't just make it boring where I like die out of it. Like I don't want to kill myself out of it, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to overdo it and then be like not like it at all. Like so, I just gotta cut in half and maybe move to 2 videos a week or 1 video a week and then stream a little bit and then take my days off. I noticed that having a schedule is way better than just going at it whenever.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely quality over quantity, especially when you like want something to succeed. Because it don't matter if we're putting out like 10 videos a week, but they're like shit videos. Nobody's gonna watch them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd rather have like the 1 video a week or the 2 videos a week and have them like good quality, and people like actually enjoy them, rather than just pumping them out. Because I mean, I've had the same situations as you where I have like videos set up and I have them ready to upload, but I'm like, I don't really feel like it, and that's why I did the Let's Play, because you just sitting down, chilling, and then just playing a game for a couple hours.
yeah. All right. Well, we're getting really close to the end of this episode, so it has been a good episode. I'm gonna let everyone do their outros. I'll make sure I have Julio's links in the description. Hopefully, maybe we can get him on another episode in the future. Other than that, it has been the Overnight Podcast. I do hope you guys enjoy. It is your boy Drift Export. I'll let them do their outros, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I didn't talk that much because I didn't want to take attention away from our guest. That and some of the stuff they were talking about, like I wasn't big into like the superhero stuff, but I didn't want to take any attention away from Julio, him being our special guest. So yeah.
Look at that. I appreciate that. That's a good host right there. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. It was a lot of fun. I would definitely love to go ahead and do that. I need to brush up on some football knowledge for sure, because I still watch those podcasts, but I have no idea what y'all are talking about. I know what the teams are, but yeah, much love. I appreciate it, and thank y'all for having me.